Yo, what up guys, it's your dude Jiedel. Whoa, I haven't done the normal intro in a long time. It feels weird. This is also gonna be kind of weird. This is a story time, but we're not gonna do it over Rocket League. I'm just gonna talk to the camera. I'm gonna mix up the story time. So today's story time is about how I almost got arrested doing a school project. Now this is kind of wild, and I'm gonna tell stories about the entire class because my friend Kyle was just reminding me of all the funny stuff that happened in this class. Shout out to Kyle for the video idea. We'll get right to the reason why I almost got arrested, then we'll do the rest of the stories because, you know, that's what the video's titled. So this class was AP US History. Basically, that's just the highest level of like history you can take in high school, or I guess AP Gov is, but like for juniors it's the highest. In California where I went to school, it might be different at your school. Whatever. After you take the AP test in an AP class, you really have nothing to do because instead of like teaching throughout the year, they basically teach until the test because that's what you need to know all the information by. So after we took the test, the teachers, you know, they're just assigning like random assignments. So one of our assignments was to make an informative movie about US history. Now, everyone else who did this, their groups, they made like informational videos. They'd be like, back in 1940, this is when World War II happened. And our group was like, screw that. We're gonna do our own thing. We made a narrative video about John Dillinger. If you don't know who John Dillinger was, he was basically a famous bank robber in the 1930s. He was kind of like Robin Hood because he gave a lot of the money he stole back to the poor. But we didn't even do like an actual John Dillinger story. We made one up. We wrote a script. There was no reason for us to do this. By the way, we did get a B on it. But side note. So for this movie, we needed to make guns for the bank robbery. So what we did was we got a Thompson airsoft gun. For those of you who don't know what a Thompson is, it's basically the gun the United States used in World War II. It doesn't look like a modern gun at all. And we also made some cardboard guns that were basically just like toilet paper as the handle and then like cardboard squares, but the squares weren't even perfectly square. They were just all the wrong shape. Luckily, I found the video on Facebook so I could react to it while I'm telling the story. So I'm gonna try to find a clip of the guns right now just so you guys have an idea of how fake these guns look like. 'Cause I just got past like a 3-minute walking sequence that I forgot existed. Look at this shot from inside the car. Ooh, that was nice. High school me kind of knew what he was doing. All right, pause. Look at the Thompson. Hold on, I know it's in potato quality. Let's change that to HD. That really didn't do much. HD quality is basically the same. Look at this Thompson. Notice the orange tip. An orange tip on a gun in the United States means it's a fake gun. Alright, this is the only secret. Look at that thing. Does that look like a gun? This is where we were filming, where I guess somebody called us. So basically we made these fake guns, right? And then we went to this like business area just to walk down a hallway, then walk back, and then we drove away just to get this one shot of us walking through a hallway. So I'm gonna show you guys like literally this sequence. It's just this hallway of people running down it. Notice the gun, if you could barely see it there. And that's it. And then we left this business area. So we're driving home and we notice there's like a bunch of police like kind of going towards where we came from. And we're like, that's really weird. So we drive home, we get to my driveway, and all of a sudden a cop car pulls into the driveway and he's like, license and registration please. So I like hand it to him and I'm freaking out. Not because of what I didn't know it had anything to do with these fake guns. I didn't know anyone saw us recording our little video. I didn't know people knew what we were doing. Literally because I was wearing sandals and socks. I know some people don't think that's a good fashion choice. Quit your hating. In California, you're not actually allowed to drive without shoes on. That's like a law, I guess. I don't actually know if I've never actually looked it up, but I've been told by multiple people that is a law. So I thought I was about to get a ticket for driving with sandals and socks on. I also didn't have my license at the time. I had my permit, which means I wasn't allowed to drive people. I had a car full of people. So I was like, well, I'm about to get my first ticket. To this day, I've actually never gotten a ticket. I didn't get a ticket from all this. But the cop's like, so we got a report about you guys having guns in a public place. And we were like, because the guns were so fake, it didn't even occur to us that we had them in the trunk. So we were just like, we have no idea what you're talking about. You know, after talking, we kind of realized what might have happened. So he goes into the trunk and he pulls out the Thompson and he realizes it's an airsoft gun. So he's like, all right. And he's like, I heard you guys had some handguns on you? And we were like, oh, you mean these? And we hand him the cardboard guns that are clearly not guns at all. And he looks at it, like starts laughing hysterically, calls up his like cop radio, and he's like, all right boys, it's a false alarm. And he's like, you kids have a nice day, and just drives off. Like, and we were all sitting there like, someone dead ass called the cops on us while we were filming a school movie. Like, that's ridiculous. But before I'm done talking about this movie, I want to show you guys a shot at the end. That was Jesse way back in the day. So now, time for other stories that happened in this class. Now this class is kind of fun. Like AP classes, I personally feel are a lot more like, I don't know, they're easier than normal classes because you get a lot less homework. It's more like reading, taking tests, writing essays. It's like bigger assignments instead of a lot of little ones. So for me, they were just like super chill. But our teacher was like I think she was a second year teacher, Mrs. P. That's just what she was. She was Mrs. P. She had like a bit of a temper to her, and I never understood why. Like, she was also kind of elitist. Like, don't think all AP teachers are like this, but the first day she's like, you guys are AP students. You are the class of your class. And it's like, okay, Mrs. P, like, there could be some major mess ups in your class and you wouldn't know because it's the first day and you're like being an elitist teacher or whatever. But that doesn't matter. All you need to know is she was a recent grad of UCLA. So me and my friend Tony had her together. We noticed that we both had like a red checkered flannel. So we were always just like, man, like one day we need to wear red checkered flannels at the same time and we need to switch seats. And the thing was, Tony and I didn't like sit across the classroom. I sat in front of him and he sat behind me. We sat right next to each other. So Tony and I finally, like, toward the end of the school year, coincidentally wear our flannel on the same exact day. And we're like, this is perfect. Let's switch seats in Mrs. P's class. So we switch seats. 40 minutes into the class, Mrs. P, who's been teaching the whole time without noticing, just stops, looks at me, looks at Tony, and says, if you guys ever try this funny business again, I'm gonna kick you out of my class. Like, we switched seats, but we were right next to each other and she got so mad at us. Luckily, I never had any repercussions from that. I don't know why anyone would get that mad about that. Like, one time, one of our classmates found like a newspaper article of her back when she was like in her own high school, because she went to a nearby high school, so this guy was, I don't know if he was, low-key, he might have been stalking her. Let's just be real here. And it was like, we found out she was like a good roller hockey player, and when the next day, when she found out that the class found out, she got super mad about it. So like, I have no idea why she had such a short temper. Like, the class was so chill most days, like it was really quiet. One day though, we really pissed her off. So she was a huge UCLA football fan because she went to UCLA. Now at the time, I was a big USC fan. I wanted to go USC. This was back when USC destroyed UCLA football like every single time. So we come to class. The previous day, USC had beaten UCLA 49-0. Before I continue, I have a history of messing with teachers. In 7th grade, my history teacher was a big UCLA fan, and for her birthday, I put a USC Trojans poster on the door of her classroom that I actually really liked. She ripped it in half. Thank you, Mrs. K. Don't appreciate that. Anyway, back to Mrs. P. So UCLA lost 49-0 the previous day. So she's asking people for a coordinate. She's like, what is the latitude, longitude coordinate of like the Canadian North American border in the year, like, I don't know, 1780 or whatever. I honestly don't remember. It's just, it had to do with coordinates or something, and no one knew the answer because no one cares about like latitude and longitude coordinates. Like, I don't even know where my town is or where New York City is. You couldn't, I'm an AP student. I'm the class of the class. So I go to this kid who I knew didn't know anything about sports, and I go, say it's 49-0. The answer is 49-0. I don't want to, I don't know why. I convinced him I didn't know how to answer it. Finally, she calls on him and he goes 49-0. And the entire class just erupts in laughter. And she's just sitting there so freaking confused. And then like, she finally takes a second and realizes that we were all making fun of UCLA just getting absolutely destroyed by USC. So she looks at this kid whose name was Jimmy, and she said the same thing she said to Tony and I when we switched seats. She was like, if you try any of that funny business ever again, I'm gonna kick you out of my class. It was like him and her were the only people not laughing because I knew he would get, everyone else in the class understood it because she was a huge UCLA fan. So even if you didn't like sports, like you kept up with it just to make fun of her because that was when UCLA was bad. Finally, I don't have too many other stories from this particular class that I remember at the moment. My friend Kyle and I, we had a friend named Bucky. Now Bucky, I don't know if you're watching this video, so apologies in advance. Bucky's kind of an awkward dude. You know, I used to be kind of an awkward dude. I'm still kind of an awkward dude, I'm not gonna lie, but Bucky definitely would classify as an awkward guy. He sat in front of her desk on the right side of the classroom. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure Bucky zoned out almost every single time we had this class. I don't know if you know what a hypnotic jerk is. It's like when you're sleeping and your body just like kind of freaks out for a little second. Bucky would fall asleep in this class and have hypnotic jerks, and her desk was one of those like metal desks that when you banged it, it was like boom, and it was like a loud bang, loud echo. So like at least once a week, Bucky would fall asleep, hypnotic jerk his foot straight into the desk, and just make a loud banging sound. And you know, normally it wouldn't be too funny, but because it was him, it just made it so much funnier. Guys, I know I only showed parts of those videos, but this channel is almost 2 years old now, and I'm thinking it's time we start reacting to old videos. Let me know if you want to see a reacting to old videos type of video. Do you want me to react to some like school videos or my old YouTube videos? Sadly, I lost a ton of my like actual old videos because my laptop got stolen last year, which sucked. But yeah, let me know if you want to see that. Guys, if you want to see some older story times, click over here for the playlist with all the story times. And if you want to see a more random video, click over here for the truth. Guys, thank you for watching. Please leave a like and a comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.